Hello, welcome to EPG Pashala Spanish. My name is Nabil Ansari and I teach Spanish in the Center of Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, and Latin American Studies in Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. We're in the paper entitled Spanish Grammar 1. In this module entitled Quién dice que, you are going to learn how to ask questions in Spanish, how to express sentiments, feelings, and emotions in Spanish, and also exclamative pronouns. That is, you are going to learn about the interrogatives as well as exclamatives pronouns. Now, interrogatives form a very important part of the language since they help us to form adequate questions regarding anything we want to know. So if we want to know anything, we ask questions. And how do we ask questions in Spanish? Like we are going to learn in this module. Now the differentiating aspect of questions in written Spanish is the use of an inverted question mark at the beginning of the sentence. Now we start with the questions that we see written somewhere. So Spanish questions are a bit different from English language in the sense that not only after the sentence but before the sentence also there will be an upside down question mark. As you can see now here, the question marks are two, which is first before a question starts and also when the question ends. So the sentence is it starts with a question mark, inverted question marks, and it closes with a question mark at the end. So actually there are two question marks in one sentence in Spanish. Now listen to the conversation between Rahul and Jose, who are meeting for the first time, so that you know, so when we meet for the first time to someone, what kind of questions we ask, and then we will pay attention to the form of the questions.
Buenos días, ¿cómo te llamas?
Me llamo José, ¿y tú?
Me llamo Rahul. ¿Hablas hindi?
No hablo hindi, solo hablo español y un poco de inglés.
¿Eres de España?
No, no soy de España, soy de Colombia.
¿Qué haces? ¿Trabajas o estudias en la India?
Estudio en la Universidad Jawaharlal Nehru.
Encantado.
Igualmente. After having listened to the conversation, if you want to understand it better, then you can refer back to the e-text which has got its translation in English. That will make you understand the conversation better. Now, in order to know about something or someone, we ask questions. Now let's see how to ask questions in Spanish. So we'll start with some basic interrogative pronouns in Spanish, which are following. Like in English we have what, same thing in Spanish is que. So which, cuál, when is cuando, where, donde, who, quién, how is cómo, and how much is cuánto. Now, the basic structure of forming questions in Spanish is like, first you will have the interrogative pronouns that we have just seen. Anyone, for example, from what we just mentioned, it can be que, what, cuál, which, cuándo, when, donde, where, quién, who, cómo, how, and cuánto, how much, plus verb plus the subject. So any of the interrogative pronoun plus the verb plus the subject. For example, ¿qué haces tú? Which means what do you do? Now, some questions are formed without using any interrogative as well. So there are other forms of asking questions as well. For example, ¿hablas español? Do you speak Spanish? So there is no interrogative pronoun like when, what, where, how, etc. So we simply use the verb and we ask questions. Now in these questions, in order to differentiate it from an affirmative sentence, the intonation increases at the end. For example, if we are asking or we want to ask a question and there are no interrogative pronouns, that is when, what, where, and if we are using a verb, so in order to differentiate it from the affirmative sentence, we simply change the intonation. For example, here we are going to see one sentence, affirmative sentence, which is not a question. For example, tenemos vacaciones en agosto, which means tenemos vacaciones en agosto means we have vacations in August. But if we want to ask a question, we can change the intonation and it will become a question, and it will be read as tenemos vacaciones en agosto. But here, as I changed the intonation, it became a question, which means, do we have vacations in August? Now, the interrogative pronouns are also combined with certain prepositions like a, de, con, por, etc. to form different types of questions. They are followed by either a verb or a noun. Now let's see some of them in detail. So we start with the first one, that is K. K, it is used for asking information about person, place, or thing. So the structure of forming a verb, as I mentioned earlier, is with K is, that is the interrogative K plus the verb and plus if there is any subject, so plus the subject. So for example, only the interrogative with the verb ¿qué pasa? What happened? And example with interrogative plus verb plus subject, ¿qué tiene Elena? Or which means, so here in the sentence, as you can see, ¿qué is the interrogative, tiene comes from the verb tener, which is a verb, and Elena is the subject. So what Elena has. Now more examples of questions with K. We are going to see some more examples. For example, ¿qué eres? What are you? What are you here means, okay, we are asking about your profession. Or ¿a qué te dedicas? So as I mentioned, K can also take prepositions. So ¿a qué means to what? So ¿a qué te dedicas is a way of asking what's your job. Some more questions with K are ¿qué tal? How are you? Or ¿de qué color es la silla? Which is, what is the color of the chair? Or what color is the chair? ¿Qué significa bolígrafo en español? What does bolígrafo mean in Spanish? ¿A qué hora te vas? ¿A qué hora te vas means at what time are you leaving? ¿Qué hora es? What time is it? ¿Qué van a tomar? What are you going to have? ¿Por qué aprendes español? Why are you learning Spanish? ¿Qué hacemos hoy? What do we do today? ¿En qué piensas? What are you thinking about? So these were some questions with the interrogative pronoun K. So as you can pay attention that to the aspect that K can be used in various situations, and it can be used for asking many questions. Now when K is followed by a noun, it is used to ask for any particular kind or class of thing. So up till now we have seen when K is used with a verb. Now we are going to see when K is used with a noun. So when it is used with noun, it is used to ask for any particular kind of class or of things. For example, ¿qué jersey prefieres? So after K, this jersey is the noun, which means the question is, which sweater do you prefer? So it is asking here for any particular kind or class of sweater. Now when K is followed by the verb ser and a noun, then it means we need a definition or description about the noun we are referring to. So in other words, simply if we want to know about something, then we ask a question, what is this, or what is something that is done with K plus the verb ser. For example, ¿Qué es paella? It means someone is asking what is paella. What it means is that, okay, I know the term paella, but I don't know what is it, so I'm asking the question. After K, let's see what is qual. Now qual or qualis in plural, qual is again used for asking information about person or things. Now qual is followed by the verb ser for asking about anything about which we have no knowledge of. We want to know the particular information that we need and we ask it by qual. So when we don't know something and we want to know about that thing, then we use qual. For example, ¿Cuál es tu nombre? What's your name? Here I don't know your name, so I'm asking what's your name. That's why I'm using qual. We cannot use ¿Qué es tu nombre? Same way, ¿cuál es tu número de teléfono? It is what's your phone number. Qual is used when we have to make a selection between two or more elements in a specific group. For example, ¿Cuál de estas cajas es tuya? Which means which one of these boxes is yours. It can also be ¿Qué caja es la tuya? Which means which box is yours. Now as you see the difference between these two, K, after K there is a noun caja, and after qual there is no noun, and thus if we want to use or if you want to ask the same question by mentioning the object, then we use K and not qual. Now qual prefieres la negra o la blanca? Which means ¿Cuál prefieres la negra o la blanca? In this question it means that which one do you prefer, the black one or the white one? And the question with qual is in, now we are going to see in plural. ¿Cuáles te gustan más? Which means which one do you like it more? Now this was regarding the interrogative pronoun qual and how it differs a bit with K. Now when the selection is to be made between two things belonging to different groups, then K is used. So again we're just going to clarify it more with comparing it with K. For example, ¿Qué prefieres? ¿Falda o camiseta? So what do you prefer, skirt or t-shirt? So if you pay attention, then qual is used when the objects are same, and it's just that it varies in color or something like that. But K is used when the objects are completely different, as we have just seen. ¿Qué prefieres? ¿Falda o camiseta? So what do you prefer, skirt or t-shirt? But with qual we have seen one question, ¿Cuál prefieres? ¿La negra o la blanca? So here it means that the objects are same, it's just the color that is different. After having talked about K and qual, let's see the interrogative pronoun quién. Quién is used only when we are referring to persons. For example, ¿Quién eres? Who are you? Or ¿Quién es Mahatma Gandhi? Who is Mahatma Gandhi? Or ¿Quién está en la puerta? Who is at the door? So ¿Quién is used when we are referring to a person, meaning who, and in plural it is ¿Quiénes? So ¿Quiénes prefieren venir conmigo? Who prefers to come with me? When there are more than one people, then we use the plural, and here the plural of quién will be quiénes. Other examples with quién are: ¿a quién ves desde la ventana? Which is, whom do you see from the window? Or, ¿de quién es este libro? Whose book is this? So in these last two questions, the interrogative pronoun quién is used with the prepositions a and de. Now, in plural, with other preposition they, we can ask a question. For example, ¿de quiénes habláis? Which means, whom are you talking about? Or regarding whom are you talking about? Or with another preposition con, which means with. So the question is, ¿con quién vas a salir esta noche? Or with whom are you going out tonight? Or whom are you going out tonight with? So these were some of the examples with the interrogative quién. Now let's see donde. Donde means where. Like we ask, where are you going? Where are you? Same way, in Spanish, the interrogative pronoun of where is donde. So it is used while referring to a physical location of a person, place, or thing. For example, ¿dónde está tu país? Where is your country? Or ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Or ¿a dónde vas? Where are you going? Or ¿hasta dónde llegaron? How far did they get? So these were some of the questions asked with the interrogative pronoun donde, which means where. Same way, cuando. Cuando means when. So it is used in order to know the time when something happened or happens or will happen. For example, when is your birthday? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Or when do you want the report? ¿Para cuándo quieres el informe? Or when the shops are open, till when the shops are open. This can be asked as, ¿hasta cuándo están abiertas las tiendas? Or since when do you know each other? That is, ¿desde cuándo os conocéis? So the since when is desde cuándo, till when is hasta cuándo. After having seen these the last interrogative pronoun, that was cuando, let's see what como is. So como is used when we want to know a person's name or how the person is feeling. For example, ¿cómo te llamas? Which means, what is your name? Or ¿cómo estás? Which means, how are you? So ¿cómo here is used as what and how, and it can be also be used for referring to the manner of doing things. For example, ¿cómo cocinas la paella? How do you make paella? And it can also be used to ask about the physical or mental characteristics of a person. For example, ¿cómo es tu madre? How is your mother? So more or less, como in general means how, for asking question how someone or something is. Now the interrogative pronoun cuánto can be used in 4 forms. So cuánto and cuánta means how much. It is used for asking quantity or number. And cuántos and cuántas means how many. So let's see the examples with these 4 forms of cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas. So cuánto cuesta la camisa? Means how much does this shirt cost? And cuánta gente está en la calle? It means how many people are there on the street. So here cuánto is used because the questions that. So now we are going to see another interrogative pronoun, which is cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas. So cuánto is used when we refer to the quantity or number. For example, ¿cuánto cuesta la camisa? How much does this shirt cost? Or ¿cuánta gente está en la calle? How many people are on the street? Same way, cuántos and cuántas is used. For example, ¿cuántos alumnos vienen a clase? It means how many students are coming to the class. ¿Cuántas casas hay en este barrio? It means how many houses are there in this neighborhood. Or another example with a proposition, ¿con cuántos amigos vienes? With how many friends are you coming? Or how many friends are you coming with? These are more or less the basic interrogative pronouns. So I repeat, the basic interrogative pronouns that we have just seen are, so the first one was que, then we saw cuál, then cuándo, then dónde, then quién, then cómo, and last one that we saw was cuánto. Now we are going to talk about the exclamative pronouns. The exclamative pronouns are those whose function is to express emotions, sentiments, and reactions. Reactions like fear, anger, admiration, surprise, etc. So let's see some example. When we say esta iglesia es bonita, which means this church is beautiful, but this same sentence also can be said in using the exclamative pronouns, and in English we can also say the same sentence as how beautiful is this church, which means que bonita es esta iglesia. So as you have seen in this example, in a way exclamative sentences are very similar to the interrogatives, but instead of asking a question, they simply state an idea, opinion, or express feelings. As in English language, the exclamation and exclamatory sentence can vary from a single word to a sentence. In Spanish, just like interrogatives, when we write an exclamatory sentence or word, it carries an inverted exclamation sign in the beginning and an exclamation sign at the end, as you can see here. In English, we normally have one exclamation sign that is at the end, but in Spanish, we have in the beginning, and in the beginning it will be inverted exclamation sign, and at the end, which will be a normal exclamation sign. Now exclamations, as we just have mentioned, that it is used in order to express intensity, or it is used to, in order to express the sentiments or quantity that we want to convey to the other person. So let's see the example of when it is used to express intensity. For example, que feo. Que feo means what an ugly person, or what an ugly situation, or how ugly. So que feo, how ugly, can be a person or a situation. And when it is used to express quantity, then let's see one example in that sense. ¿Cuántos perros? So cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas can be used to express quantity, and we have seen the example cuántos perros, which means what a bunch of dogs. And when the exclamation is used to express manner, then we can use como. For example, como canta Carla, how Carla sings. Or another example, como cocina, the how does he or she cooks. So como, que, and cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas can be used also for exclamation or for exclamatory sentence. Now let's see various use of exclamatory words in detail, one by one. We start with que, which is used in front of nouns adjectives and adverbs to mean how or what a. So when it is used with a noun, let's see some of the examples when it is used with a noun. For example, que músico es, what a musician he is. Que hombre, what a man. Que lástima, what a pity. Que problema, what a problem. Que vista, what a view. Now let's see some examples when que is used with adjectives. So, for example, que delicioso, how delicious. Que bonita, how cute. Que difícil, how difficult. Que aburrido, how boring. And when it is used with adverbs, for example, que rápido pasa la vida, how quickly life passes by. Or que maravillosamente toca la guitarra, how beautifully she plays the guitar. Or que rápido pasa el tiempo, how fast time flies. Now if you follow the noun, after que with an adjective, mas or tan is added between the two words. For example, let's explain this with some examples. Que vida más triste means what a sad life. Or que aire más puro means what a clean air. Or que idea tan importante means what an important idea. Or que persona tan feliz means what a happy person. So we have seen how this que is used with nouns, with adjectives, and with adverbs. And we also seen that if we follow the noun after que with an adjective, then mas or tan is used. Now let's see how como is used for the exclamatory sentences. Como is used in front of verbs to express surprise at how a verb was done. For example, ¿Cómo canta esa mujer? It means how that woman sings. Or ¿Cómo celebramos durante la boda? Means how we celebrated at the wedding. Or ¿Cómo llueve? Means how much it is raining. So ¿Cómo, when used as an exclamatory word, it means how. For example, how well she sings, how we celebrated, how much it's raining, etc. Now, after como, we see cuánto. Let's see how cuánto is used. Cuánto is used in front of nouns to express surprise at an amount, and in front of verb to express surprise at how much someone is doing that verb. Now, in order to modify a noun, cuánto must match the noun in gender and number. And to modify a verb, we use the singular masculine form, that is cuánto. Now let's start with the cuánto when it is used with a verb. For example, ¿Cuánto dinero tiene Anil Ambani? Which means how much money Anil Ambani has. Or ¿Cuánto te quiero? Means how much I love you. Or ¿Cuánto bailamos anoche? Which means how much we danced last night. Or we danced so much last night. So these were some examples with cuánto when we used cuánto with some verbs. Now when we use cuánto with the noun, as we just mentioned one, that is ¿Cuánto dinero tiene Anil Ambani? So here dinero was a noun, masculine noun, that's why we use cuánto. Now if the noun is feminine, we will use cuánta. For example, ¿Cuánta mantequilla? Meaning what a lot of butter. Or ¿Cuántas bendiciones tenemos? Meaning how much or how many blessings we have. And with cuántos, we have ¿Cuántos perros? What a lot of dogs. So you see, cuánto is used as an adjective here when it is followed by a noun. and then it will change according to the number and gender, meaning if the noun is masculine like dinero, it will be cuánto. If the noun is feminine like mantequilla, it will be cuánta. If the noun is plural like bendiciones, it will be cuántas. And if the noun is plural masculine, it will be cuántos, like cuántos perros. Finally, as in English, exclamations don't have to take a particular form. It isn't even necessary to have a complete sentence. Like in English, we say, I can't believe it. So, in Spanish, we say, no puedo creerlo, or no, which remains same, no. Or we also say police, so it is policía, or ouch, which is I, or it's mine, it should be es mío, or help, which is ayuda, or you are crazy, which is estás loco or loca, or bravo. So bravo remains same, bravo. So we just saw that for an exclamation or for an exclamatory pronoun, we do not necessarily need to have one big sentence. There, these exclamatory words are also there, which can be used separately, like we just mentioned some of them. So this module covered various interrogative pronouns like que, cuando, como, etc. for asking questions, and it also covered some exclamatory pronouns like it's the same como, cuanto, que, but as an exclamatory word. Apart from this video, if you want to know more or if you want to practice more, and it is advisable for you to refer to e-text, because e-text has got more examples, it has got more explanations, as well as it has got more questions related with these topics. And apart from that, it has got text in Spanish which you can read to understand the things explained in this module, and also it has got links, various links which you can refer to if you want to know more about the interrogative pronouns as well as the exclamatory pronouns of Spanish. So it is advisable that you refer to the e-text, and also that for the purpose that you do the exercises that are given there. Thank you.